from across the country. Today is Thursday, November 10th, 2022, and this is All the Leads Mastermind podcast number 403. Before I forget, any of you that will be at NAR in the next few days, we'd love to see you. Come by and see us in booth number 1271. If you locate the NAR booth, we're just to the left of it. So come by and see us. We'd like to meet you face to face. Bruce? What? Oh, you don't want to meet him face to face?
You broke up again. You said come by and see us, and but we missed. So we're excited.
Oh, come by and see us face to face in booth number 1271 at NAR.
If you're going to be at NAR, love to hear who's going to be there. Chat in if you're coming to the convention. I think the airport's back open again. The airport was closed yesterday and last night. So if you guys had flights into Orlando yesterday, good luck getting rebooked. I drove down, so I didn't have to worry a whole lot about that. My truck did float away in the hurricane last night.
Yes, Orlando Airport is indeed open. I just verified that.
Excellent.
That'll give me the opportunity to make it in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. All right. Melissa, do you want to let everybody know how to engage?
Alyssa's having AC work done in her office, and she asked that somebody else do it today.
Okay, perfect. All right. So this call is for you guys. This is an open Q&A story time call where essentially we'll share some of ours and give some good practical coaching advice, some motivation advice, different things like that. But it always goes much better when we hear from our subscribers and other people. Even if you're not a subscriber, we want to hear from you guys as well. This is kind of an open forum where you can ask your real estate related questions. Most of the time they're probate focused, but they don't have to be exclusively probate focused. So real estate related questions. If you want to find out about getting started with probate, if you're a seasoned veteran and you have a question on structuring a deal, or you ran into an objection that you hadn't heard before, ask those questions. We especially want to hear your successes and your wins. So if you've had some good success picking up listings, picking up purchase agreements, if you're an investor, let us know what happened. And if you have an idea that's going to help some of your peers in this changing market, we'd like to hear some of those things as well. As a matter of fact, we want to hear those so badly that your idea of the week, anyone that has the idea of the week, gets a discount on the next month of leads. The same thing with win of the week. So if you have picked up a deal or a listing or had some sort of a win out of your probate leads, come on here and share. You'll be eligible for win of the week, and you will also get a discount on the next month of leads. If you are not a subscriber of All the Leads, basically we provide probate, pre-probate, and divorce leads with several other lead sources on the way. We go beyond just providing leads. We actually provide a full system. So anybody that is a subscriber of All the Leads getting one of our lead sources not only gets leads that have been pulled and verified through local government records, typically transitions based, but you also get the skip tracing, you get phone numbers, all the heirs contacts that may be associated with that particular lead file. You get a full mailing program that you can put a mailing package together for your leads. You get credibility websites so that you look credible when someone looks you up and they say, hey, I want someone that maybe is a probate specialist, or I want someone who works exclusively with divorce leads. So you can get a credibility website. You get training. Every month we're doing multiple trainings. You get this mastermind, and you get one-on-one coaching. Coming soon is social media management as well, along with email content writing and probably some other things that I'm missing. So if you're not a subscriber, we give way more than just leads and kind of say, hey, here's your leads, good luck. We want to make sure that you are crazy successful with that. So that's why we're giving you everything else that I just mentioned. If you are a subscriber and you're not taking advantage of those things, shame on you, because they're here to make you successful. So please tie in with the system that we have in place for you. And with that, I will kind of kick it over to my fellow coaches. This is Jim, Tim, and Chuck Seark are the coaches with us as well. So I'd like to hear from them. And by the way, if you do have questions, I skipped this. If you have questions, comments, wins, and you're live in the Zoom call, go down to the reactions button on your screen, click reactions, and then raise your hand. We'll call on you and ask you to unmute yourself. If you're watching us on a streaming platform, which would be YouTube or Facebook right now, I think that's it. But if you're watching us on a streaming platform, you can chat your question in. We have our support team monitoring those chats. They'll pass the chat through to us, and we'll be able to answer those written questions as well. Without further ado, let me throw it to my coaches. Who wants to go first?
I will.
Tim.
So we sort of did something last week that we hadn't tried before, and I want to do it this week as well. I can assure you we haven't done this before. I am going to do a 30 for Thursday promo today, and that is anybody who is getting ready to get their website set up. If you do that before close of business today, look at this. We've already got a sign made it for it and everything. $30 Thursday, $30 website setups. Anything placed today before close of business, contact your MIS or the support department. There's a phone number, and your normal setup will be reduced to $30. So I think that would be a savings of, I don't know, almost $200, something like that. So we look forward to doing that, and we're going to continue to do things that reward the folks that join us on this call, in addition to the shameless bribe of offering you info for your great news and good things that you do. We're also going to try to offer you some special opportunities that are only good for being on the call, because we do appreciate it, and we know this is valuable. Most importantly, we're trying to engage you. We want to hear from you. It's not just we show up and talk. That makes it a non-conversation. We really do this because we want to talk to you, and you've got some really good people on here to be able to answer your questions. And more importantly, the community is also available to answer your questions or just observations about what's going on in your business. The other thing I will tell you is, as you probably know, we're down here in Florida. We have had a hurricane. Hurricane Nicole came jamming through here late last night and got a lot of wind and some rain with it. We've still got some power outages in our county, but we're kind of doing better than we might have expected. We didn't get as much of it. It hit a little bit south of our office. We've still got a few employees who don't have power at home, but they're doing well now. And I think Toby, our chief of support, just joined us, and he's usually on these calls. And I know he had been without power for quite a while. So I know several of you have asked if we're doing okay, and we're doing great. Thank you very much for your concern. And we're doing fine and looking forward to meeting you all at NAR. Jim's
Hey,
giving.
Tim,
Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, if I could just add to something you said, a little clarification. First of all, the $195 I think you usually charge for the website is really cheap based on everything you do. You said that the website fee would be reduced $30. It's going to be reduced to $30. So it's not going to be $165.
That's what I said, reduced to $30.
It's going to be $30. Okay, I didn't hear the two.
You're breaking up, Jim, you're breaking up really bad, buddy.
Okay, you answered the question. Go ahead.
It's really hard to do that. And yes, you're right. It is. We're reducing it to $30. So take advantage of it. It's cool. It's great. It's cheap. There you go. Chuck, what's up, bud?
So during a lot of the coaching calls, during the week, I mean, I love digging into one-on-one strategies, and with the win of the week or the idea of the week, I'm really interested in some of the creative ways that you are reaching out and connecting with folks. I mean, what we teach, from a foundational perspective is, build out your team so you can, your value proposition is to deliver services to the prospects. And that's what sets you apart from just your standard real estate agent. Now, we talk about sending direct mail, cold prospecting on the phone, as well as having a website or a digital presence online to where people can look you up and make sure that you've got credibility. You check the box of, well, their business is on the internet, so they must be legit, at least from that beginning perspective. But that's just the start. And as we're cold prospecting, I'm really interested to hear some feedback from some folks about getting emails from their prospects when they're talking with them, and then what success that you've had with email follow-up based on those prospects giving you the email. I'm interested in some of the other creative solutions that you may have implemented into your business already. We'd love to hear some of those ideas and really have this be that mastermind to where we can share ideas and we can all rise together, because it's not just direct mail, it's not just the phone calls, and it's not just the website. That's how you get started, and you can be successful, but again, you can grow this to whatever extent and really achieve that market share in this particular niche. And that's what we've talked about. If you're getting just a couple percent of the number of probate cases and you're listing them, you're purchasing those properties, you can have a very successful business and live a solid, secure lifestyle by serving people in a good way. We're interested to hear some of the ideas that you have and what's been working in your local market. And we do recognize that all local markets are not going to be identical. I've got examples where two counties right next to each other, one responds to direct mail, the other one, it's a big fat bagel on a month by month basis. But you do that by testing or by learning from other referral partners based on their marketing campaigns. So really interested to hear what's working for you that might be over and above the basics.
Absolutely. Good stuff. All right, folks, let's hear those questions. While we're waiting on some hands to be raised with questions, I do want to let everyone know that we had a listing success class yesterday. It went really good. Be on the lookout if you've never taken that class. Be on the lookout in a couple of months for another listing success class where we go through kind of the step-by-step process of how to have success as an agent on the listing appointment. So not necessarily getting the listing. That's what our masterminds and our whole process is all about. But when you actually go on that listing appointment, how to have success. We had some lively debate. We had some good ideas that were shared back and forth. Some people that were doing things differently than I do them that are working really well. It was just a great class. So try to join us here in a couple of months for that class again. And next week on Wednesday and Thursday, we have Prospecting Mastery. If you have not taken that class, please don't forget to join that. It's a 2-day class where we dig into your prospecting conversations, specifically around probate, very specifically around probate, and how to deal with those calls that might not go exactly according to plan. The ones that are according to plan, I don't have to train you guys on a whole lot. Somebody says, hey, I want you to come sell my house. I hope I don't have to train you a whole lot on that. So I train you on the people that say, nope, we're good, got it all handled. All right. So I do see one hand up. It looks like Dwayne, your hand is up. Go ahead and unmute yourself and let's hear what you got.
Hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Thanks. In regards to the website that the promotion thing going on, can you or somebody take just a couple of minutes to give a bit of an overview on what we do or what's done for us, or we're hand in hand, or how on that actual setup, what the expectations are
Sure.
to be up and running?
Sure, I'll be glad to do that. So the purpose of the website is real simple. when you are sending out your letters, when you are talking to people, when you hand somebody a business card, when you are in that conversation, today, social proof is very important, and people go online to look you up. They want to see what you're up to. They want to see what you look like. And the purpose of the website is to provide you with not only a landing place to take that traffic, but to give you some powerful tools to make that work. So I know that you probably are aware, if you've looked on our website, there's a huge area of frequently asked questions that we've curated over the years of pretty much everything that you might need to know about what is probate, how does it work, a lot of the jargon, all that information. We replicate that on the Credibility website, so that's one part of it. We also have an area that, thanks to put that up, we also have multiple areas on it that talk about what you do as a person to make it work well and to be part of the probate business in your local marketplace. We customize it for you. We have great information on here. Can you hang on, scroll back up just a second? Are you looking at the screen? We're kind of doing a little demo here.
Yeah, I see it.
So we have all that. If you'll click on the frequently asked questions for a second. So in the frequently asked questions, it's got a glossary. It's got pretty much anything anybody could ask about what's going on in probate. And it talks about what the personal representative does and all of that. And all of them are there with tons of data so they can drill down. And it basically shows you've done your homework. You know what all these things mean. You are an expert. So we're trying to help you build credibility. It also, go up and click on attorney info. We also have what we refer to as the attorney collector. And this is here for two purposes. The first is if you happen to go out and you're working with attorneys and attempting to have them become someone you work with, it gives them a place, if you do a mailing to them, it gives them a place to enter their information and basically to vie for your business. You, if you're building this as a pillar for your business, you are going to be a person that they want to be part of your experience, and they want you to refer business to them. So it certainly there's a place for that to happen. I will tell you that it doesn't happen all that often because attorneys generally don't do a lot of this. However, what it does say to your potential people that you want to work with, to the people who might be wanting to work with you to sell a property or to list with you, it looks to them and appears to them as though you're certainly interfacing with the legal community and making that work. So that's there. Click on the about, and I don't know what this is going to show me, but what the about page does is it's your page and it talks all about you. You can completely customize this, and we interview you basically to help you put content in there. We hope that you give us content to put data in here. And if you aren't comfortable doing all that, we can certainly help you get some of that done. That's what our marketing implementation specialists do for you to make that work. Premium pages, can you show me that one? So all of these are various things that you can plug into your program to let people know more about what you do. So it's this kind of stuff. As you build your team, go back up to the wheel a second. As you build your team and you recruit estate sale companies and clean out crews and people who focus on senior moving, financial advisors and all of that, you talk about this. The whole purpose of this site is to give you credibility in your local marketplace. We want to populate it with the people that you work with and make it yours. So every one of them is completely different. If you have a specific color scheme that you want to use, if you want to put your logos and all your information on there, you don't have one, we'll create logos for you. We do all kinds of things, and all of these are customized for you. A testimonials page is, as you grow, you have the ability to put in testimonials, and you encourage your people to go in and put them in for you. This is building social proof. This says, you're a great guy and here's why. It's what people like all of the attorneys that are spending millions of dollars on TV or saying, you know, so-and-so got me millions of dollars in my settlement with the insurance company. Well, you know, it's people who say good things about you, that are easy to work with. You help them through the probate process, and you're a great guy. So that's what that's there for. Also, the cash advance, which we've just added recently, gives you the ability to help get them some dough. And this is something that we'll put in there for nothing because we want you to use it. It's an advance against the inheritance. A lot of times when people are in probate, they need money now. They don't need it later. And they're worried that they won't be able to get to it until it closes. And through our relationship with the cash advance folks, we have the ability to make sure they can get, if it's possible, if they can verify with documentation that they stand to inherit, and they can do that. We have a team of people that work with them to do that. They just fill out the information, off they go. It goes directly to the cash advance folks. You get credit for it, and they do it. You'll also earn a commission on it as well from the cash advance people by furnishing them the info. That's a 30,000 foot view of kind of what's there.
Yeah, thanks. I can see where I might be posting something, whether it be a blog or whatever I might be advertising, and I'll maybe use a question out of one of those pages, say, want to see the answers, go to whatever the site is, you know, have them land on that, whether the Q&A is.
And on every letter that you send out, every piece of marketing that you send out, you need that there. You need that, the URL of your website there, along with, and the thing that I also would mention is that we encourage you to put a QR code, particularly on the things that you mail out as a postcard that someone's going to keep in their hand. And that QR code, are you familiar with QR codes?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Then you make it so that the QR code will take you directly to your website. Now, you know, not only are you doing a good job, but you're doing it in a very high-tech way to engage more appropriately with the people that use those sorts of tools to determine who they're going to work with. So we try to help you do everything we can to make you the #1 source in your marketplace.
Thanks, Tim. I appreciate that. You got somebody else with another hand up, so I'll just back on out. Thanks for taking the time.
No,
Before we jump,
I love talking about it. Thank you.
before we jump from that frequently asked questions page and the additional resources, that is a content goldmine that can be built out and used to, you know, create those email campaigns, to create those, you know, blog posts, to shoot video, and all you need for that video is what you've got in your pocket. I mean, you can definitely create a very deep library of you speaking to your market by leveraging the content that's already there. And, you know, definitely I get super jazzed up about that, and being able to, again, build on the basics and the foundations that we teach you here, because you can really put a whole lot of distance between you and the competition by building out content and going at this very, very consistently.
Yep.
Very cool.
100%. And I will also add that I think a lot of you guys have heard this. I lost business in the past because when you Googled my name, somebody ranked higher than me. I know people who've lost business in the past, probate business specifically, because when you looked their name up, the only thing you found was a page that said, I help first-time home buyers. All right, so it's important that you have content that is that relates to the niche that you're in. If you don't have that content, web page, credibility page like this or site like this is going to be the easiest and quickest way to start. It is also fully customizable. It may not be fully customizable for $30, but it is fully customizable. You can add a ton of content. You can add video pages. You can add blogs. There's a lot of different things that you can do on that site to really drive it forward. So
let me clarify what you said. So literally, it is fully customizable for $30. The issue is that if we need to help you do it, which we're happy to do, you know, time is money and we charge for our services. But not only is it a good website, it's a full-blown WordPress website that you have complete control over. We basically give you the keys and let you do anything you want. If you want to mess it up to your heart's content, you can, but more importantly, you have complete control. If you are someone who is familiar with doing WordPress websites, which are very easy to operate, if you're familiar with that, you can do it yourself. And, you know, we're not out to try and just nickel and dime you to death. We provide it for you. Obviously, we're in this to make money, and we, you know, do attempt to feed our families doing this, but you certainly have the ability to do anything you want to with it, and you can customize it to your heart's content. If you're technically savvy and can handle that, off you go.
And Tim,
Not
how
as
long does
much-
it take to set one of those up?
Can have it up probably in 24 hours if you really had to. Typically, I think we say 2 days from, you know, getting the info to start with. We generally ask for a couple of days of time to get it done. Now, the value of that is that, you know, in that period of time, it's going to be pretty generic. And as you add content, if you have more content and you're ready to go, it can get done faster. But typically we'll set it up, and then over, you know, a period of a few days, content gets added, but it's ready to refer traffic to quickly. And we do that because we encourage you to have it ready before your first set of letters go out. So if someone just joined and started their subscription, then we want them to be ready to rock and roll as soon as possible. So we get it up really fast.
Yeah. I'm
Yep.
not as sure. I do have my main website, DwayneOlsonProperties.com, is WordPress. And I can see where maybe I'd integrate this into that, one pointing to the other.
Sure, absolutely. People, that's what everybody does. If you already have a good site, we make them point to each other, and you can refer to that in the about page on both of them and on your home page if you choose.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to dominate this. I appreciate all the information. There's other people waiting.
Yeah, thanks, Dwayne. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's go to Ellie next. Then I'm going to answer a couple of questions that were chatted in, and then we'll come to Steve. Ellie, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, so I just finished the training and just joined up. So I got a referral from a past client to this young gal that is caring for her dad that's going into care. So it's not really probate, but it's very much a similar type of situation. And the house definitely needs to have some flooring and painting done, but they don't have any money. So I was wondering if probate cash would be applicable for that, or if I should do some kind of loan against it myself.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, I just feel like sometimes people get weird when you do the loan.
Let me ask you a
Goes
couple of
south.
questions. Can I ask you a couple of
Yeah,
questions
sure.
about it? So, I wasn't listening at the very beginning, I apologize, but is there equity in it?
Yes.
How much equity?
Over 100,000.
Okay, and is there a will?
There is not a will in place yet, and that is going to be one of the referrals that I have her get with someone. She does have power of attorney, and he is still alive.
Oh, okay, all right, so, yeah, so, that's an interesting one. So unless you're planning, unfortunately, to knock him off, then you've got an issue with the challenge of time, because the whole point behind the advance is that what they're looking for is that they're looking for some timeline that says either at closing or whatever, they'll get the advance paid back. So it's not a hawk loan that they're making. Having said that, I'm going to ask that you go ahead and submit it, and in the notes, explain what you're asking for. I want to know what they might do in that case, because that's an interesting question. And if the answer turns out that they may find a way to work with you, that would be very beneficial for everybody else as well. So
Yeah.
if you don't mind, fill out the form and go do that.
Are the terms what's the terms typically? Are they doing like a 10% or a point, or what are they doing?
Unfortunately, I can't answer your question, not because I don't want to. It's different in every case. They look at, and that's what I'm saying, it's because of the provability of the ability to be repaid and how much it is. They have a range of money that they'll do up to $500,000. I know that. and they'll go as low as three grand, but I don't know. The terms are always based on how long it's going to be to get paid. It's a length of time, not just an interest rate.
Okay,
I think from my standpoint, I think the best option is going to be work with the power of attorney. And if you've got a bank, local bank or a credit union, and getting that home equity line of credit, that's going to be your best route. Typically right now they're running about 4 weeks. But if there's $100,000 worth of equity, that's going to be your best play. There may be a couple $100 fee for if you don't have it out for longer than 3 years, but it's worth it in that
That's a
particular
good idea.
situation. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And also, if you do that, one of the things that we've found nationally is that, one of the best resources for that typically are local credit unions. They are very good and great rates on HELOCs.
Mhm.
Yep. All right. Thanks for the suggestion.
Your advance, Ellie, is almost any time that there's some sort of a settlement involved. And a lot of times when there's a settlement involved, you don't have the incomes needed, you don't have the ownership needed that you could get any sort of traditional loan or HELOC on. So if there was a car accident even, and you're in the middle of a settlement with a trucking company, you could go for the cash advance. If there's an estate that there's a settlement coming, a life insurance policy coming down the pike, anything that they're due some money that is virtually guaranteed, the advance comes in, and it is not a loan.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons why the rate can vary, because it's not a loan, it's an advance. Now there's some legality, not the legality, there's some nuance there that I can't necessarily or don't know enough to get into between an advance and a loan, but it's not a traditional loan. It's an advance on a future settlement.
And you
in this
can get
case, in probate, that settlement is the settlement of the estate.
Yeah,
How
and you
many
can get all
people-
the
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
you can get all the details by going into our ATL Mastermind call archive. It's episode 373. That's when we had the folks from the cash advance company on for a complete hour, and you hear it straight from the company's mouth. And
Perfect.
so you can catch that on our training menu. We do have the call archive. You can catch it on the YouTube channel or your favorite podcast platform. Just search for All the Leads Mastermind. And we've got 402 episodes to pick from, but that one in particular is episode 373.
Thank you.
Please do fill out the form. I really want to know what they'll say. I'm going to let them know as well, but I want to make sure that your data is there and see if there's anything they can help you with.
Perfect. Thank you.
All
They
right.
got lots of money.
Thanks so much. Before I come to the folks with their hands raised, I'm going to answer a few questions that were chatted in on our streaming platforms. I'm going to answer Nancy's first. Nancy, technically you were second, but it's with regard to the websites. So you had asked if there's any advantage to having a separate site versus having content on your real estate website. I think that a separate site does carry a distinct advantage. If, let's say, hypothetically, somebody were to go to your real estate website and the domain name there, when they look you up, the domain name is I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. So buy a home in Raleigh, North Carolina.com. Well, if they're looking for a probate expert, they're probably not gonna click on that because it doesn't necessarily relate. Now, you could always point a different domain name at a specific probate or divorce or whatever your niche is page on your site. But personally, I like to fill the first page with content. I like to fill it. And so I'll put a probate page on my main website. I'll write a blog. I'll shoot a few videos. I'll have a standalone probate site. I want it to be where if they look me up, they're going to see just gobs of individually indexed content on the main page of their search engine. So I think that there's more of an advantage to having a standalone niche site like that. But you should also think about adding a page to your existing real estate website as well. All right. Any comments from other coaches? You guys agree?
Well said. And I think not only that, but the last thing you said. I think if you tease the knowledge on your main website and do for more information, go here to my probate website where there's a wealth of knowledge. If you have other questions, be glad to find them there. And as Chuck said, tease the frequently asked questions. Just say that there are literally hundreds of questions that can be answered there. Go there and look, click here.
Same exact thing with any blogs or videos you do. Exact same thing with blogs and videos, because all those will index separately, and many times they'll rank very high on Google, especially if it's just somebody searching your name. It should certainly land on the first page or two. So you give your kind of narrowed down, focused content, and then tell people where to go to get more information about the process.
Yeah, my suggestion is do both. Really, you want to have, information on your standard brokerage template site. I mean, that's where most agents are going to have their website from, and pointing to the specific site focused on probate and or solutions that you provide for estates. And you want to have that specific site so that way you can put blinders on your prospects so they do not get distracted by any of the other information and content that you have on your website. You can have a link there because we do want to cross market and say, okay, we can help you with, we have full real estate solutions, and click here to learn more, that type of thing. But it's also on your brokerage site, point them back and forth. So my answer is both. You definitely do want to have a specific probate website.
Yep. All right. Next question's from Kevin, and it has to do with a third-party service that's offered. It's the ISA service that I kind of do the training for the ISAs. And so Kevin had asked specifically about what kind of return on investment or conversion rate you could expect from an ISA, and then how that compares to conversion rates if you have an agent. My assumption, Kevin, would be that would be a separate agent, not you, doing the prospecting, kind of fulfilling the role of that ISA. And I'm assuming that would be someone local in the market that knows real estate and is maybe looking for a little bit of a side hustle. So the answer to this is complicated and complex and very nuanced. It has a whole lot to do with how good the ISA is. Being someone that role plays and coaches and trains a lot of people on doing prospecting calls, I've seen offshore ISAs that are better than top agents. I have seen new agents who are better than top agents. I've seen top agents that are terrible on the phone. It really depends. So I do want to clarify that the ISA program is not technically an all the leads program. It is third party. I have some involvement in the training and kind of approval there for an ISA to come into the program. We are making some changes where different ISAs will come at different prices based on their proven results. To kind of answer the question, normally you or an agent that has some prospecting experience will normally get a better result than an offshore ISA. Normally. Okay, that's with the caveat that there's some experience there and that kind of how to handle the nuances of the call, primarily because you're American and how to speak what I refer to as how to speak American. Someone from another country may have a flawless accent, but they're used to communicating to a different culture. Okay, so if you are an agent locally, know what you're doing, the nuances of the conversation, you just kind of know how to speak to the culture of the typical American that you would be calling. Someone offshore is certainly going to be more affordable. It's going to come with the downside of they're accustomed to speaking to a culture that's typically in another country. So we keep their scripts a lot simpler than we would make yours. And then typically we're handing over leads to the agent, the team leader, the investor that wants those leads. So you're getting kind of more of a bird dog approach versus an appointment approach when you hire an offshore ISA. So they are pointing at the specific leads that now you can go give your intense focus on. I would say anywhere from a 7-to-1 to 15-to-1 ROI is appropriate, depending on how good the ISA is and how much time they've spent prospecting certain types of leads. So that's what I would kind of expect. And that has a lot to do with your ability to take those warmer leads, bird dog leads that they've spotlighted, and convert them yourself. It could certainly be zero if you don't follow up on your leads or know how to carry on that handoff.
And I think it's crucial that you are, once you get that lead from an ISA, that you are on top of it. I mean, you need to get in touch with them. You know, it's speed to lead in that particular scenario. You need to get in touch with them as soon as possible. That's a key component to that handoff. Otherwise, you don't want to end up like you don't want to end up fumbling the ball.
You don't want to end up like me. I'm so busy that sometimes new ISAs will come in and I'll say, I need to test them out, and they'll go out and they'll call, and I'll be on coaching calls or on a training, and I'll get out of my training and see a lead that came through 3 hours ago. And it's certainly a convertible lead. Had I called them 3 hours ago, I probably would have converted it at a 5 times higher rate. So it is speed to lead for sure.
Are you doing, is live transfer available?
Live transfer is available. All right.
That's fantastic.
Perfect. All right. We got 3 hands. We are getting a little bit low on time. I hear someone chiming in. Where are we? Somebody's chiming in.
That's okay. I was going to add, am I breaking up real bad, or can you guys hear me? Am I breaking up bad, or can you hear me?
We can hear you for now.
All right. Chuck, I was just going to add real quick. A couple of years ago, the most unforgettable story, we had an ISA who gave a lead to someone on a Wednesday afternoon, and the client didn't really value the leads from the ISA as much as they did their own, and they were busy. They called back on Monday, and the client had 17 properties, and they'd already listed like a dozen of them.
Oh man, you're breaking up. I wanted to hear what you had to say, but you broke up. All right, let's go to Steve. Steve Carney, you're up next. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, good afternoon. Hey, what I did want to say was the guy who got his website up last week was totally blown away by the level of content. I wasn't sure what I was getting, even paying full freight. I mean, this 30 for Thursday is a great deal. I would pounce on it. I will tell you that I probably would have paid double the freight. My son, who's a computer geek and camera geek, and there's nothing wrong with being a geek, he looked at it and he was blown away by it. In fact, he's trying to get me a camera so he can get me in front of it. And he's like, Dad, you need to put content on there and get going, because if you don't do that, people aren't going to know who you are. And he showed it to a couple of his buddies who do work in marketing, and they were totally wowed. Now, I just want to make sure everybody understands that Chuck or Tim or Jim, or even Bruce, nobody's put me up to this. I'm not getting anything from it. All I'm saying is you get it. In fact, I think all those guys know I've been a long time listener. They probably wish like a bad penny I'd go away, particularly when Chuck up the road in Lancaster has been kicking me in the shorts about getting on with it. So I can't overemphasize. I mean, I knew it would be a quality product, but not to that level of detail with everything that's there. It's kind of like the old Trago commercial, you know, it's in there. And then it's up to you what you want to add, but it really is phenomenal. So all I know is I'm working it. Okay. I got to be better. So, but if anybody's on the edge, trust me, that's $30. I probably couldn't get it out of my pocket quick enough to pay you.
I just want to know.
That's all I got.
Listen, Uncle Steve, I just want to know if you're still coming for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, you know, it kind of reminds me, Tim, and I know you can relate to this. Remember when Ross Perot back in 1992 said everybody has a crazy old aunt in the attic? Well, maybe I'm that uncle. I don't know.
Listen, you're a great uncle, buddy. I appreciate it. We appreciate you too.
All right,
Thanks,
guys.
Steve.
Well, have a great day. Enjoy Veterans Day tomorrow.
You bet.
Awesome.
Thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate your comments, and very nice of you to say that. We really I mean, nobody says it better than a happy guy. Thank you.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
thanks a lot. Thanks. Okay, Jim Forsyth, long time no talk. How are you doing, man? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, Bruce, how are you today?
Great. How are you?
Well, doing fine. I'm at a out of pocket, so that's why no video. But I was talking to Jim last week, and I don't know if he remembers the exact question he'd asked me to bring up, but it had to do with the letters to attorneys. And I got on late and missed that part about the attorneys that Tim was talking about earlier. Someone asked, anyway, have y'all found letters on older leads, the 6 month to 1 year leads? Have you found letters or postcards to be better?
To your leads, not to the attorneys, right?
Right.
I have done both, and you know, around that a month 10, 11, 12, 13, they work really well. I probably wouldn't run a full-blown campaign to really old leads like that, but I might do a 3-touch sequence or even 1 or 2. If I was doing 3, I'd go letter, postcard, letter. If I was just doing 2, I'd probably go letter, letter. If I was doing 1, it would definitely be a letter. Definitely a letter. So it depends whether you're going to hit them a couple of times. If it's just once, letter hands down.
Okay, well, I was looking at I hadn't even seen the marketing on the flyers, I mean, the postcards lately, and they look so good. But anyway, that was the other question I had was, is anybody having any luck with doing contacting the attorneys by letter instead of going in person? I'm working attorneys in person some, but just wondering about, you know, once you get your leads and you know the attorney's name, any luck with just trying to go through the gatekeeper?
I can tell you that. Let me just take one shot at this, and I want to, because we often don't. And I just want to add one other thing. One of the things that helps doing that, and we don't say this often enough, and we can help you do that, is that if you have that attorney's name, and the real trick is making sure that whatever you're sending them does get opened. You need to give them a compelling reason to talk to you. And first thing about getting it opened is if it comes in and on the outside of it, it says regarding the estate of, and it has the decedent's name on it, they have to open it. They're going to open it for sure. Then it's got to be a compelling reason for them to be wanting to talk to you. And if you do it right, at the very least with that, you have at least warmed up that opportunity. And even if it's the gatekeeper that you're talking to, if you've got what you think is a compelling reason for that attorney to want to talk to you, which would be, I potentially have a buyer for that property and I want to know how to work with you to get that done, that might be a compelling reason for them to talk to you. If you just mail them a cold letter, you're probably not going to get there with it. So I'm just saying I would be specific and put regarding the estate of on it. So it's a very businessman to businessman or business person to business person conversation, not just a generic kind of letter. And Bruce, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on your answer, but if I didn't say it, I'd forget.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I appreciate it. Are you saying, say, address it to the personal representative, probably in care of the attorney?
No, address
something
it.
like that.
Trying to get to the attorney, it's, you know, if the attorney's name is John Smith, it's, you know, Attorney John or John Smith Esquire, whatever his business address is. And then on the envelope below the address, say, regarding the estate of Sally Smith.
How would we do it with the direct mailing that you do for us?
We do it for you. If you want that, you just have to let us know that's what you want.
Okay, that's a real good suggestion, Tim. Thanks.
Yep. So I literally just saw someone on our Facebook Mastermind page. And by the way, if you guys are not following or not in the All the Leads Mastermind Facebook group, so not All the Leads Facebook page, which you need to go like that as well, but the All the Leads Mastermind group, join that. Someone just shared a couple of hours ago, I feel like. Could have been 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks and 1 hour feel the same to me. So I guess it's a sign.
Having those flashbacks again, are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm having those flashbacks. But they said that they blasted out that they'd never focused on on probate attorneys, mailing probate attorneys, and they sent out a bunch of probate postcards or letters, and they got an immediate referral out of it. So mail definitely works. I'm going to say that mail coupled with mail to a select group of attorneys that you are actively guerrilla marketing works
Right.
even better. So you need to be in those offices every single week. You might not pick 1,000 attorneys, which I know where you are. You probably don't have 1,000 probate attorneys, but pick 20
Right.
and go drop a bowl of chocolates or donuts off every single month with a little flyer of what you do to help attorneys close their deals faster, make more money, go easier, whatever it is, every single month. And at the same time, you should be maybe doing a monthly letter or postcard. And I would probably alternate if I was doing that.
Okay. And you also would follow up with them, of course, by phone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
I think your best approach is going to be dropping by, sending direct mail, phone calls, and email, and doing that in a consistent rotation. I don't know exactly how many episodes ago it was, but definitely John Cooper had shared kind of his approach and his marketing and prospecting for attorneys. He's got what, 40 so far out of 118 in his local county that he's built a relationship
Wow.
with. So definitely looking back into, if you go into the archive, you'll be able to see in some of the titles, I think we've identified that particular episode about connecting with attorneys. So go
Okay.
into the Mastermind archive and look for that.
Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks, Jim. Let's go to
Yes,
Chris
sir.
next. Chris, what's happening? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes, I have a question about pulling lists.
Mhm.
Can you hear
Okay.
me?
We can hear you.
Okay. I've been using batchleads.io, and I pulled my first inherited list today, and there's a lot of them where the last sale price was, say, for example, 80,000, and then the estimated home value is like 300,000 to 400,000. Can you tell me what happened there?
Well, you're kind of relying on algorithms, and I mean, I'm not going to lie. We use some algorithms as well to come up with certain property values, things like that. But when you're relying on algorithms that are run through just a primary skip tracing service like Batch, like PropStream, that they could be wildly different. So essentially, what you're looking at, you pulled that down, and it was saying, hey, you know what? The last time it was sold was 3 months ago, and it was $80,000, and maybe that was an investor that bought the property.
Well, actually, it was. They were showing to be like maybe 6 to 8 years ago on those.
Okay, so the last time they said in a case like that, the answer seems simple to me. It almost seems, and in my mind, it almost seems too simple. So I might be missing something. But 8 years ago, a $300,000 house today was probably worth 80. And so they just sold for market value back coming out of the last crash.
Okay. I didn't know there was that much of a difference.
Oh yeah. Depending on the market, there could easily be that much of a difference. I mean, my market doubled in 2.5 years.
Okay.
So, and it's probably tripled in the last 6 years. So there can definitely be that much of a difference, easily.
Okay, that answers my question.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Chris.
All right, thank you.
Let's go to Evie, and I think we'll close it out with Evie. I will scan to see if there were any other chatted questions in before I do close it out. But Evie, go ahead and unmute yourself. How are you?
Oh, there it goes. I couldn't unmute myself. Fine, thank you.
Good. What can we do for you?
I go to the attorneys and I do Popeyes and I give them things, and I also do to the gatekeeper. So she's really friendly and she welcomes me to come by. But content. I don't know. I do the mailings for my leads, and I'm working on the website now. I'm also going to put, like, instead of a resume, put a CV on the attorney page so they can click into that to see who I am and what I do. But what kind of content can I give them when I go in there? Like, where do I get it from?
Well, you want to speak to the idea that where do you get it from? We'll maybe talk a little bit about that next. I want to hear some of the other coaches' ideas, but where? Okay, Claire, ask your question again. I totally distracted myself with that second question of where you get it from.
That's okay.
I think what you're looking for is what would be a leave behind. That would be
Yes.
some content that kind of describes how you're able to help them. And whether it's a single page flyer or it's going to be a trifold brochure, something that's going to be geared directly to how you're able to provide value to the attorney. Now, the way I set up and I'm speaking to all of my prospects is that we help people with the physical aspects of the estate. So one of the values that you can deliver to the attorney is that, hey, we can take some of the headache and some of the challenges that many of your clients are experiencing, and when they struggle getting over the obstacles and dealing with the physical part of the estate, we're here to help you settle these estates faster and easier than them doing it alone. Now, there's, again, going back to that previous Mastermind episode where John Cooper was telling about how he's providing date of death valuations for attorneys. And he's also providing deeds because he's linked up with this title company and has access. He's doing maybe 10 a day or 10 a week. I forget exactly what he was referring to, but he's trying to provide as much support to the attorney from the real estate focused area. So that way he becomes their go-to and really integrates into their probate process. And that gives him the opportunity for referral after referral after referral because he's integrated himself into their process.
Sounds good. Also, on the website, would I be able to put like a link or something on there? Like if you do hook up with the title company, that they can request those forms, like a deed or a chain of title or something? Is that possible if I talk to my title company?
Sure.
Absolutely. If they will let you do it.
Okay.
And anything that you can add, anything that would enhance your ability to be seen by your prospective customers as the go-to person in your marketplace, any content that personalizes it and enhances your ability to be seen as the superstar in probate in your market, which is what you're striving to do, that's your objective. You're really trying to do just that. And I got to say this, and I appreciate you, great questions, and a lot of these are great questions. This has kind of been infrastructure day, if you will, and it's been a great call because everybody that has kind of asked questions today has asked about the things that help them build what we talk about as the pillar of your business. And all you folks that are doing this, the great questions that you're asking, you're doing the things that literally make it something that you can fall back on and be proud of the fact that you're building a presence in your local marketplace by all the stuff that you're doing. Chuck and Bruce and Jim's suggestions about what this matters about is that over time, this doesn't happen overnight. You're going to have to develop these relationships. That wheel of probate that we showed on the website, you got to go out and find the folks that that you can work with to do that. But as you do it, you're building a tremendous business that over time it's just going to continue to work, and then you're going to get it organically. Attorneys are going to be sending people to you. People that every day are going to go, oh, Abby's a person that deals with probate. I'm sorry that your uncle passed away, but if you need help with that, that's the person you want to talk to. And that's what you're looking for. That's the objective. You want to be top of mind all the time. Anybody says probate in your local marketplace, you want them to think about you. And that's why it's a great infrastructure day. That's the kind of stuff that we're talking about today, is all infrastructure, building the basis of your pillar of your business.
Yep.
Thank you.
Specifically to that question, Evie, I would set a link, and as rudimentary as a Google form that gets sent directly to the title company, but you've got to set up that process and those links and understand the flow of the information. You absolutely can put that, request a deed and they fill out the form and the details, and it gets sent to you and to the title company, because you want to make sure that you're seeing all of those
Right.
forms that are going to them, so you can be, and do not send somebody outside of your sphere, outside of your purview, if you will, because you want to make sure that you've got eyes on those communications. You want to be the linchpin. You want to be in the center of these particular deals and how they're shaping up.
Okay, got it.
100% correct. All right,
Thank you.
we're a little bit over. I want to answer Matt Bedard's question here really quickly through one of our streaming services. He chatted in, he asked about who he should be sending mail to. Should he be scrubbing his leads down to those with real estate only, or sending to everyone? And the answer is it depends. It depends on a lot of things. It depends on whether you're taking a lot of time to go in and individually sift through your leads to figure out where there is real estate. It depends whether you're looking nationwide or in your county, outside of your county. It depends if you're using Property Plus, which is an add-on service that you can kind of order through us that spotlights real estate both in and out of the county that the decedent was in. And it also depends on whether you want the opportunity to work with them on real estate that the decedent didn't own. If you build a good relationship and you provide a hell of a lot of value to someone that is just trying to clean an apartment or an assisted living room out, who's to say that they're not inheriting money that they need to go buy a house? Or who's to say that they weren't thinking about moving now that they don't have to be super close to mom or dad? So if you form a relationship with all of your leads, there's more room for spin-off opportunities. However, you can also narrow your list down to only those with real estate, or only those with real estate in your county. And if you want to do that, we've given you the opportunities in your portal to do it. You could put a small delay on your autopilot mailing campaign, like 3 to 5 days, go in, scrub those out that don't have real estate, and save the money on mailing the people that come through as a lead that you can't find real estate. I'm here to kind of play devil's advocate though, and say there's a lot of opportunities to form a relationship with everyone, whether there's an immediate real estate inheritance or not, or if there's one in your county or not. Sometimes there's one in the county next door, or there's a referral opportunity across the country that you might not know if you only go in and look at your county records. So it depends. I don't think that there's any one perfect way to do this, but I do think that you need to examine both sides of the coin before you make that decision for yourself. All right, with that, I think I'll kick it over to Jim. We'll see if he can make it through a closing without breaking up. Let's give it a try. Otherwise,
I already have a call into my tech guy. If I break up, you guys can finish for me.
all right.
I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today, particularly thank those who actively participated. I want to challenge each of you, take one idea that inspired you on this call, go out and put it into practice, and come back and share the results with the group next Thursday. Hopefully we'll see some of you at NAR. The rest of you, we'll talk to you same time next Thursday. Have a great week, everybody. Take care.
Good job, Jimmy.
Thank you.